Let's see. What's your favorite genre and favorite villain of the Batman series? Like which one?
Tricks.
Favorite villain?
Yeah. Like mine has to be the old school Riddler from the Adam West time.
Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange. What series? The games?
Yeah, well, no, I mean he was in the comics. He was one of the very few. He was one of the first people to find out that he was Bruce Wayne, like all on his own.
Oh, nice. What about you, Brian?
Honestly, I would have to say Joker. I mean, to me is the most complex. So that would be my
Complex
my
indeed.
answer. Yeah.
That's a good choice. Caesar Romano, man. Caesar Romano.
Yeah.
The old school Joker with him and his mustache just sticking out. That's wild, man. I love that guy, dude. I really do. Yeah. And what is up? Welcome back. You're here at the Average Voice Podcast. It's your boy Crispy on a Sunday night now, not a Friday night as usual. And we are here with our two co-hosts. Triggs is finally back, and my boy Brian is in the seat. How you guys doing? How's your week, man? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in so long.
Dude,
like it's been just adding 2 days to this.
You know what? I'm gonna let Brian go first because I haven't been by for a minute.
So why would you let me go first if you haven't been here in a while? Why would you let me go?
Because I got a lot of shit to go over. Dude.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead. You might as well get that out of the way. Go ahead. Go.
Bro. Okay, so I've just been working, right? I work weekends now. I'm a bartender. So I've been working weekends like pretty much primarily. And that's the reason why I haven't been by. And man, I've now kind of like come to the conclusion I only drink when I'm really stressed out, and I've been drinking a lot as of late. Like this weekend was something else, bro. Something else. And it just
a nice little bender.
It's not even a bender, bro. It's just the fact that like people are getting really fucking weird with me, and I have no idea if I just attract that or something. And probably, honestly,
100%.
High possibility.
And like, yeah, there's a pretty strong possibility for that. Well, anyway, dude, like, yeah, the bar is great and stuff like that, but I've been getting some weird characters, and I'm just like, bro, I gotta go get a drink after this. And then like, where I go, more weird things keep happening, and I'm just like, man, I just want to go home and just cuddle up with my dogs. And yeah, I'm so glad that we're doing this on Sundays now that I can actually be back, or hope to continue to be doing this on Sundays so that I can actually be here.
True that. Well, it's good to have you back, man. It's it's been a while, so we get to catch up on all the things.
Man. Too long, man.
So we get to catch up on all the cool stuff and all the cool things that you've been able to watch and see, and hopefully you've been able to catch us on Fridays and things that you've been wanting to be like, oh man, I've had this in the chamber for a while. Let me tell these guys something that I don't disagree with or agreed with or whatnot. Something that we covered a while back. But Brian, what about you, man?
I've been sick for the majority of the week. It's been a long week.
Is that like allergies or something like that, or what?
No, it's just whenever the weather changes, it's getting cold. Yeah, it's getting cold.
Okay.
So whenever the weather changes,
well, what's temperature up there right now?
Usually when I get up in the morning, it's probably I want to say like around 55. Okay. Yeah, and it's cold.
Yeah.
Whenever when you're up here in the east, you know that it's cold when you have to use the scraper for your
windows,
bro. Yeah. For real, like you gotta wake up like 20 minutes extra early and stuff like that.
We're getting in there around that time. Yeah, that's what we're at right now.
Starting to like kind of glaze over a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you guys get like really good snowy weather during like the winter times, like Christmas and stuff?
It's been getting a little bit later, so we'll have like spring throughout November. But then around December, January, it'll get some snow and it'll get cold. Yeah.
That's badass. We rarely ever get snow down here. Anything that's
2017, I think, was the last time we got snow.
Yeah, pretty much. Yo, what's up? Games at Ham. Actually, I was just hanging out with him, Christella. Everyone's at Subway. We just got lunch. We get super late dinner for me, lunch, dinner, and breakfast all together at once, and they're just hanging out. I had to leave them behind to come to the show. Um, so Brian, pretty much. And what about work and stuff, dude? Has it been going good with you with the moving dentistry kind of thing?
Yeah, so I've been traveling. I've been traveling all across the state basically, with the oral surgeon. So yeah, that's what's been a little bit taxing this week. That plus I got a couple
That's
side
been sick.
jobs. Got a couple side jobs, and I am
Nice.
sick, but I don't got time for that. And been putting some brainstorming, putting some stuff together for a new podcast of my own. So been
Nice.
busy. And hopefully have that up and running in the near future. Yeah.
Very nice, man. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got some of my fighters back. One of my guys moved back down from Brownsville, so he'll be getting back in the gym. We're trying to see for something for December. I ended up getting booked for a crazy. Speaking of Ham, he got me hooked up with these people that they're a gas and oil company from down here. They own a bunch of oil carts, and they needed like one day to the next film, video, and all this stuff. And yeah, man, I made a quick bill, made a quick G on it, and did a full day of fucking video and photos and editing from like 10 in the morning to like 3 a.m. editing and shit like that. It was a fucking crazy day, but totally fucking worth it. And I made some really cool connections and really, really excited to see if it hopefully comes to fruition and I'm able to kind of keep them as permanent clients and keep it going, man. Keep it going. And again, with this is our first time trying to kind of move the podcast around and see what it kind of benefits us. And Sundays was the first thing that we all kind of agreed on. And we were kind of like stumped on like a good win, but 8 o'clock is good. We're just trying to do something where, you know, we want to give everybody the opportunity to get out, have a good time, you know, enjoy their weekend, not feel like they have to stay in on Friday nights and be a part of this or have to miss it or whatever. We figured that Sunday would be a perfect day to bring everybody out. They're already going to start to chill out. This has got to be Wrong Hole Rick. It's got to be our boy Wrong Hole. I was
Dude.
worried that we're going to miss him, but it's our boy. I love him. Well, good. Welcome to the show, brother. Nice name. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say his name.
Yeah, I think we'll get like demonetized or something like that.
Super simple, man. It's good to have you back. Good to have you back. But yeah, so you guys let us know what you think. If you guys think the Sunday thing is something cool and you guys want to stick it through with us, we're willing to do this. And it's something that we really want to try. And it gives us the opportunity to bring like Trigger back on for a bit since he's working weekends and Sundays towards the ending of the day is a good opportunity for him to get out and stuff like that. So you guys let us know at the ending of the day, at the ending of the podcast and enjoying the night with us and, you know, chilling out with us. And we appreciate every one of you for sticking with us to this. And, let's have a good fucking show. Let's have a good fucking show.
Right.
Boys, Triggs, I got to ask you, you're my gamer guy. Have
What's
you
up,
been
dude?
playing Spider-Man 2? Did you jump on it yet or no?
Dude, I have not gotten it yet, man.
Lame.
I have not gotten it yet. But dude, from what I've been hearing, dude, Spider-Man 2 is so fucking good. So good.
Nice,
Like
nice.
I've seen a lot of the gameplay. I've seen some of the cutscenes. Dude, I cannot wait.
It's
I
like
really
2.5
can't wait.
hours worth of cutscenes.
Dude, I'm about
It's
it,
long,
bro.
right?
Dude,
Yeah,
what
it's
was
a
it?
lot.
Tales of Arise is like 16 hours worth of cutscenes.
Oh shit. What's
Yeah.
What's that one? Tales of Arise?
Yeah, Tales of Arise. It's it's from the Tales series. It's just a set of games that like they're all like isolated stories. But this
Oh, the
one happens.
Telltales?
No, they're like kind of, yeah, like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of
I
Besteria
think
and stuff like that.
I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
it's
about.
called the Tales series. And yeah, like I said, they're all like isolated of like stories, isolated events and stuff like that. I don't think they share a universe with each other. But yeah, that one has so many cutscenes.
Excellent. Well, fuck, dude. But yeah, I know Rob was playing it. He told us that it's spectacular. Let me ask you something. As a comic book fan, also, and being pretty versed in the Spider-Man universe and stuff like that, what was your take? Because I've heard like an ups and downs of Mary Jane being Scream or Screech or what's her name? The Venom.
Screech. Yeah, Screech.
Yeah, Screech. Yeah. What's your take on that?
Honestly, it really doesn't bother me too much. What I think that they're doing is probably giving her character just a little bit more like emphasis, because like in the first game, she's there but she's not really there. In the second game, sorry, in Miles Morales, she's more of like a background character, and in this one, I think they're really just trying to put her a little bit like far more forefront into the game, because not only is she Scream, but she's also like kind of working against Peter when he becomes Venom for a little bit.
Okay.
So, but like, don't quote me on that.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I kind of figured that it was one of those things to kind of like get her character up a little bit more. I know a lot of people complained in the last game where they had that whole like sneak around mission with her.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of people that were like, man, don't give us that again. But I think they just wanted to kind of like, make her a little bit more of an epic character. From what I've heard, there's some people that are some ups and downs about it. But I mean, if it's all in good taste and the story's good, like why not? Why not take a little chance?
And that's kind of like what I mean, dude. It's just one of those where it's like they're just trying to bring her a little bit more forefront into the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, she was, like front and center in the MCU, so.
Yeah.
Like I think they kind of want to give her that same treatment, in the games.
True that. Well, excellent, man. Other than that, what do you guys? Brian. As a matter of fact, I needed to ask you this. How do you feel? Because I know you're a fan. Because I've had the opportunity to play with you, and you're a fucking G in it. Fortnite. So Fortnite went back and did a whole new update. I know some people are into it and some people are not. Some people call it a kid's game, but if you get the opportunity, it's fun. It's just a way to kind of, what is it? Like just hang out with your friends and play games. I was gonna say camaraderie or camaraderie. Like where you're amongst people and you get to kind of like, banter with them and stuff like that, right? But in the Fortnite game, they just did a crazy update and they went like all the way back to the first season, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like when the game first came out and stuff like that. How do you feel about that?
I liked it. As a person that just missed that OG map, I missed it by maybe like a few months.
Okay.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, because you've been playing it for a minute, right?
I've been playing it for a while. And it's been fun. The only thing that I don't like is that it's just very hard to find shield and health as like it was like in the OG days. In
the first season.
Other than that, like it's been cool. And I think from what I've read, they're gonna be doing updates each week. So they're gonna be like going through all of the seasons up until now, which is pretty cool because like if you think about it, that gives the creators some time to figure out some brand new shit while they're just copy and pasting this next season. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
True that. I haven't had the opportunity to jump in, but I do got to check it out. I've heard a lot of good things. A lot of cool guns are back and stuff like that. A lot of like the old school guns, like the first sets and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to give it a chance. Myself personally, I've been stuck playing Battlefield 2042. They recently did an update for Halloween and they released a new vehicle, which is like a hover bike and 2 new guns that I'm really excited to try out. And it's kind of getting its vibe back. I know that when it first came out, just like Cyberpunk and just like all the other games, like it came out really heavy on getting glitched out and stuff like that. But they've been patching it up very well, and it's making its marks. It's kind of it's digging its feet down and it's making itself good at home. So interesting stuff. What is up? David, what is up, my dude? And Mark, what is up, my bro? What is up, guys? Good to see you guys in the comment section. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. Yeah, other than that, what was it? I know I wanted to ask you one more thing, Brian. Oh, that's right. Because you're my sports dude.
What happened?
John Cena, what happened to him? Rey Mysterio gets hurt. And Bauka and what's his name? Shaochan? They both did bare knuckle. They came out and fucking Bauka won. Did you guys see that or no? Scratch the bare knuckle. If you guys get an opportunity and you guys are really into MMA and kickboxing, Bauka are super huge in the Muay Thai world. They both did a bare knuckle fight and it was actually really, really technical and good. If you get a chance, it's probably on YouTube by now. You can probably watch the whole fight free. But scratch that. Tell me about the wrestling stuff because a lot of stuff popped off this week in wrestling. John Cena. What happened with John Cena?
So yesterday was Crown Jewel. It was the Saudi Arabia
Oh, okay, that's what it
pay per
was.
view,
That's what it was.
and I mean, personally, I didn't care for it. There was some cool shit in it though. Logan Paul, that kid's a star in WWE. Like I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That
So
guy
he
can wrestle.
solidified himself like this match. What happened or what?
I think that he solidified himself since day one, but this one showed that he gets it. Like before, you thought he got it, but this one he gets it because Rey Mysterio and his old ass. I wish he would fucking retire.
Okay.
But he did a move where, in all seriousness, he probably should have been paralyzed. But Logan Paul saved his ass.
Shit, for reals?
He was strong enough to avoid this guy crashing down on his neck and or head, and saved him and saved the spot. Like he almost, like it looked like Logan Paul almost broke his knee. Like he could have like really seriously hurt himself trying to catch this guy.
And he fucking sacrificed himself to
But
catch him.
he did it. Yeah, he did
Wow,
it.
what an
And then not
amazing
only
catch.
that, but then a Spanish, what do you call it? A Spanish fly slam from the top rope with this guy. It was, yeah, the kid's pretty good. So that was a standout match. Also, you mentioned John Cena. John Cena lost to Sokoa, and that was a shocker. I don't think many people saw that coming. But yeah, all in all, I mean, it was a regular pay-per-view. Nothing really to write home about, but I mean, if we're diving into the WWE world, that's what took place this weekend.
Well, it's because I know it's something you're pretty passionate about, and some of the people in the comment section have made comments that they're passionate about it also. I just want to make sure we're keeping everybody up to date. I get to see little things that pop off, like when you guys post up on your social medias and stuff. I'm not really familiar with all as much as I am, but sometimes I see some things that kind of interest me, and the Rey Mysterio one, I saw a lot of people giving Logan Paul praise, and I thought the kid did pretty good in several events, and to see him able to help a veteran like Rey Mysterio, who, I mean, deep down inside, we all fucking love the guy. So we don't want him to see him, get hurt at his age or whatnot. And I think you're probably right. He's about that age that he should retire, or at least stay away from the high flying shit, right? Like kind of like be a little bit more grounded, but it's hard for a little guy, no?
I mean, being that that's what he's known for, is going to be hard to. I mean, he has.
I was like, isn't that kind of his shtick?
Yeah, it's
he's
like
very
his
agile,
thing.
very nimble, and
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it's kind of his thing. And honestly, because of that, because of him being so small, that kind of helped him in this situation, because Logan Paul was able to just to like pick him up and shit. But
he's pretty stout, though, dude. The guy's fucking, for being a small dude, he's like fucking, he's a little rock, dude.
No, he's a little chubby motherfucker. And David says that Logan was out of position. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he was where he was supposed to be. I just think that those things happen in wrestling. You think you got somebody pegged, and it's just it doesn't work out. But luckily, the kid had the wherewithal to be in the right spot and to save him. So
true that. Well, good shit. What do you speaking about that, we got Robert in the comment section. What's up, Biggie? Good to see you, my dude. Says there's a tease that there might be a Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. As a fan of wrestling, how do you feel about that matchup?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it only for the fact that Bad Bunny also excels whenever he's in the ring, and so does Logan Paul. I know they both live in Logan Paul lives in Puerto Rico, so that's kind of like the built-in story there. So
I fight it out.
Plus,
it might be...
yeah. Plus, there's, I guess that's where the money is. A lot of people like Bad Bunny. A lot of people like Logan Paul. So that sounds like money to me. Wouldn't see why they wouldn't pull the trigger on that.
Well, excellent, man. Sounds like it was a good event. Of course, Biggie always goes off about Rhea Ripley. So how was that matchup for her and all the girls and stuff like that?
The match was pretty good. Her entrance was what a lot of people were talking about, was her entrance. She got a really cool entrance. But the match itself, it was pretty good. It was one of the better matches of the night. Yeah.
Overall, good event.
Yeah, not bad.
Have you felt like the production quality has changed for the WWE in the last couple of like months and stuff? Like with that whole like takeover, and like, how they were doing all the money stuff with like Vince McMahon leaving and buying the company out or selling?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like the production quality is getting back up there?
I mean, I think ever since Triple H has been involved in creative, I think it's been on the up and up. I'll say
Good
that.
shit. Good shit, good shit. Well, man, that's fucking awesome. I'm glad you guys are getting your cake and eating it too, man.
Yeah, man.
Good shit, good shit. Well, you gotta let us know when there's a really, really interesting event that you feel like we should all kind of tune in on. Don't be afraid to just mention it so that way we can all jump in and be a part of that, man. Be a part of that. All right, boys, let's get into the topics that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some shows and stuff like that and catching up with all the cool nerd stuff from this week. Starting off, boys, how did you feel about Gen V? The entire season just came to a season finale. Prime Video, a side story of the boys dealing with kids in university and college and dealing with all of this like underground, testing facility of like kids with powers and stuff finally came to its full fruition. How did you feel about this episode and then the overall arcing story that they did with it? Whoever wants to go. Triggs, I think Triggs should go because Triggs been fucking missing for like
bro. Fuck
months,
that, bro. You're
man.
not just gonna come in here and just be relaxed, bro. Like, come on, bro. What's up?
Be about it,
dude? I'm not gonna lie, dude. I have really not seen Gen V.
What?
Yeah, but I've been like on YouTube and like I've seen the highlights.
Okay.
So I know what happens at the end, and I kind of have the context behind why all of that went down.
Have you watched any of the episodes, or you just like keeping tabs on it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm really just keeping tabs on it. And like,
man.
Dude, I know, man. Dude, my focus really has been on the bar. Like I'm rarely even gaming. Like it is just, dude, I am so focused. Like on this bar stuff. But yeah, and granted, some of the topics that we're about to talk about later, that one I was kind of just like, okay, like no one talk to me. This is out right now, so I'm here for it.
We're about that.
Yeah, and so, but Gen V, I totally forgot that it was even a thing until Myers was like, "Hey man, have you seen Gen V yet?" And I was like, "Fuck, that did come out." Shit, yeah. I really need to go watch that.
Well, even better for you since you haven't seen it. It's all out now, so you don't even have to wait to fucking.
Right, I can just literally just binge all of it.
Yeah, you can just binge watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and just man, got to keep up with that, boys' energy for those season finales, man.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all I gotta say, dude. Definitely got to keep that same energy, man.
Alrighty, well, Brian, I mean, you've been caught up on it. I know you've been watching it. You're like me. You've been about it. How did you feel about this episode?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It turned up from, I think we left at the end of last episode. It was at maybe like a 6, 7. They cranked that shit up to about a 10. Yeah, they cranked that shit up to about a 10 this episode. Which I mean, it can be expected, right? It's a season finale. They got to go out with a bang. You kind of
it's Amazon. It's an Amazon show. They got some money, man.
Yeah, and you got to figure that they're going to try to tie it in with the boys somehow, and they did. So without any spoilers, I really, really, really enjoyed this episode. Still kind of iffy about some of the things that happened. The reveal at the end, I was kind of iffy about, but
yeah.
Other than that, it was a really, really good episode.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I think it's high up there. I think this show overall really it made its mark. It put its feet in the ground, just like the way The Boys was. I think Gen V really gave itself a really serious story, not like the comic books, kind of adulted up and gave itself a really good, deep story for character lore. I think the all the characters had such great depth and growth throughout the entire series. Some of the characters I didn't like in the first couple of episodes, I grew to love them in the later episodes. And just the build up, the X-Men vibe, like, everything that
heavy on the X-Men vibe.
It was so cool. Like it had a very the first Fox universe X-Men, like when it had like the Kitty Pryde and the Juggernaut and the Beast characters, like it kind of gave me that a fixated part of the X-Men characters in this series, like a lot of it, but it just no holds bars on what the powers can do, right?
Yeah.
The twist at the end, I really don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil too much, but there are some really great cameos. Really weird twist at the end, like a M. Night Shyamalan style twist, but it's very expected for what The Boys gives us per season. It leaves you on this such like a weird, I kind of desire more of this like lunacy of this world. But highly recommended. Fun episode. Of course, it's adult and gruesome and stuff like that. If you guys get an opportunity, totally worth the check. I would say it's like a high 9, high 10 in the series. Like this is something that through and through, probably something that's super like refreshing in the superhero genre. Even though it's like again, I myself am not a huge fan of like the blood and gore and the perversion stuff of the superhero genre, but I think The Boys is really like, man, it's the leader in that style of storytelling. So it's really, really good. Really, really good. Highly recommend. If you guys get an opportunity, go check it out. Trigger, you need to check it out because I want to ask you about it next week and see what you think.
Dude, that's what's up, dude.
And what's cool is it's I mean, dude, we all read the comic books. The comic book is like way worse. So to see what they did with it was really, really good. By the ending of the series, Brian, who was the character that really stood out for you?
What's the chick's name? The blonde chick.
Kate.
Kate.
Yeah, she was a fucking baller at the end.
Yeah,
what did you think about what they did with the Maria Moreau and the Jordan Lee character? Like, how do you feel about those two characters throughout the series? Like, were you about like the relationship and that, or was it kind of like, like, what did you feel about them?
There were a bunch of subplots that I didn't really care for, just because it wasn't interesting, and I think that they could have done more with it, but they didn't do enough for me to really give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like in and out of their relationship.
And stuff.
It didn't really stick. That's a very interesting thing to because with all the dynamics that they have with that was interesting. But some of the subplots just didn't stick the landing for me. But the ones that did stick the landing, those they
were golden.
Shit. Yeah, they
were fucking gold. They were gold. Everything was like I agree with you. The relationship with that one, the Sam relationship with the other girl, I kind of feel like it was kind of like at the end. Like everything kind of twiddled out and it literally was just left with the action. With the action of everybody kind of like coming together. And man, it didn't pull any punches. It was a wild war scene at the end. Like it was so cool. D Vargas, my man, in the comment section. Jeez, dude, it's good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you forever.
Word up, brother.
Word up. It's good to see you, my man. Good to see you. But 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I'd give it like a high 9, high 10 for that series. Really, really well done. You guys check it out. Gen V, Prime Video. Check it out. All right, boys, onward to the next one. Actually, I want to say this in regards to season finales. I have to bring this up because the poster is right behind me. But what did you guys, if you got to see it, feel for the Attack on Titan season finale? It took
what's up, D?
forever, but we finally got it. Attack on Titan. Triggs, you're going first. Remember, you're the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I still don't give a shit about this anime. I'm sorry. I've already read it, so I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But I will say this. The last episode gave a lot more context than the manga did.
Yeah.
And it really, really hits home at like the subtle motivations behind everything else and going forward, you know. And because like I remember when I was reading it, I was like, this is fucking stupid because literally nothing changed. Nothing changed.
That's fucking
right?
funny, dude.
Yeah, like I literally picked up the book and I was just like, this is fucking stupid. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Guess what? Eldians still hate each other, or still hate everything. Everyone wants Eldians to die. Titans are gonna come back, and life still sucks.
Yeah, it's the cycle, the life cycle, right?
Yeah, but that's kind of like what Attack on Titan hits home at. They're all like, okay, like the Eldians do go back to war with everyone else, but now the war has just changed because the technology has changed, and there was a lot more to itself after that. You know, when it like in regards to the Titans and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, now I get it. I still think it's stupid, but I understand it. And now there's a little bit more appreciation for it. Not that I'm going to be like, bro, Attack on Titan was the fucking best anime in the last 15 years. You guys don't even
It's all me and
know.
shit.
Yeah, dude, get the
all
fuck
me.
out of here. Yeah.
That's all me. Brian,
Yeah,
what
I
about
know.
you, man?
I didn't watch it.
You haven't seen it yet? Oh man.
He's like,
Okay,
I ain't
well,
about that shit.
I don't want to give any spoilers because I know that you actually had a good opportunity to really like dig down into the show and get to watch it and stuff. So I do hope you get to watch the final episode. To me, I think it's well worth it. If you haven't read the manga, I mean, it's a great story. If you read the manga, there's a lot to compare. I was happy with the way the series ended, and the reason why is because of how the storytelling was able to personify life, like the idea that life is an actual existing entity. And I thought that was a really, really cool like take on it. There were some parts like I was talking to some of my friends earlier that were really about this stuff and shit, and some of them were like, man, I cried the whole time. I was so emotional. And I was like, well, there were times where I felt like, you know, that the story was supposed to hit you, but there was something about it that I think it just dragged on too much at the end, that it was very winded and it lost a lot of its emotional content. Like, it's going to make people that are easily emotional cry. But like, if you're someone who's like, where you could take a little bit and kind of like really wonder about the story at the moment and stuff, like, you're going to be able to kind of like fish it off. The payoff at the end, super crazy. Triggs, like he was saying, like where it starts to embellish this idea that there will always be a cycle of life and death and conflict and all this stuff, and that it just keeps going on, and that's just the way life is. Like, it's very interesting, just very interesting.
And I can at least appreciate that there was like that there was a underlying like effect to everything that was going on previously.
Yeah.
Right? That there always had to be that cycle, whether it was the cycle of Titans or the cycle of Amir or Historia or, you know, like the Fritz family or just war in general or life and death. Like there had to be like some sort of cycle within like, you know, within humanity, like in that universe. So like I said, I was like, all right, there's like a new appreciation for this series, but at the same time, I'm not going to fucking watch the series.
Yo, the only thing that fucked me up was like at the very end, I kind of felt that the creator of Attack on Titan was trying to canonize the live action, the Attack on Titan movie, the one that's like shit, dude, like it's garbage. When in the credits it's showing like the futuristic cities and shit.
Yeah,
I thought he was trying to canonize the really shit like live action that came out like in 2018. It's fucking horrible though. Don't watch it. If you get an opportunity, don't fucking watch it.
I've seen some of their fight scenes, and like the fight scenes looks cool, but that was about
it. That's as far as it goes, dude. That's literally as far as you will fucking hate it. But I mean, with the idea of what he kind of like ended with this like idea of the cycle of life and continuation, I guess it kind of makes sense that that's what the movies would look like. But I fuck, dude, it's really bad. It would be a good, like, if you were going to have a Dragon Ball Evolution day, like, that would be the fucking thing to watch if you were in about it. Oh, dude, I am not even kidding, dude. I am not even kidding. It's that bad. But, Attack on Titan season finale, the season 4 special 2 or part 2 came out 2 days ago. Super well worth it. Masterpiece. I think the episode in the season was great. Like, what a great story and everything like that. Go check it out. Highly recommended. Give it like a 9. Triggs, what'd you rate it?
Attack on Titan?
Yeah, overall series. Beginning to end.
Beginning to end, honestly, like with the the fandom, the love of the fandom, I really have to like rate this like an easy 8. Like easy 8. You know, because like there was a dedicated fandom behind
coming
this.
Back now, wanting to get hate mail and shit from the fans already.
Right, dude? Like, I'm trying not to get canceled right now.
Fucking fight with Freddy and shit.
Right, dude? But no, dude, like, it really just didn't appeal to me. It wasn't my thing. When, like, at the very, very early, like early on, it totally was. Then it really fell off. And then I know it came back up. But I'm going to fucking tell you this right now, dude. This, like, separating of the chapters and then in parts.
Oh,
and
fuck.
And then
The
like
worst,
more separations. Dude. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck
the
you,
worst, dude.
Fuck your studio. Fuck your anime. Fuck the creator. Fuck this whole anime. Fuck. You know,
even though it looked like
I was getting ready to be like, man, fuck Japan too, dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
no, fuck all
the
that.
animation and everything was super high end. It was super good, but like, damn, it took forever.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Long. Way too fucking long. Fucking Full Metal Alchemist did it, and they did it with really great fashion back in the day. And
Dude,
they tell me they
fucking
can't do that no
One
more.
Piece, bro. It's
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But we didn't get parts to chapters and like
Yeah.
in
know
the
what you mean. I know
seasons.
exactly
That was
what you mean.
stupid.
Brian, you got to check it out. Make sure, Brian, when you get to see that last episode, you let me know, dude. I want to know how you feel about it because, like I said, it's a great story, really, really is. And I know you really you got the opportunity to indulge into the Attack on Titan. You dug it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you really dug it. So, I hope you get to watch it and let us know as soon as you watch it. Let everybody know too. Like, man, you drop a post, I'd totally read it. Onwards to the next one. Boys, good evening, George. Good evening, Georgie. Good to see you, my man. Going on to something that we all got to check out and something that we're all passionate about and waiting for, just like the people in the comment section. Invincible Season 2 debuts on Prime. Guys, what a great fucking entrance to the episode and back to Season 2 of Invincible. Triggs, again, you're the man of the hour. You haven't been with us for a long time. We really love to hear your voice. What was your take on Season 2 Invincible so far? I mean, it's the first episode.
Such a fucking great start, dude. Great start.
Streamers and shit.
Love to see the high intensity right out of the bat. Just ready to go. Dick punching. Straight Invincible style. Dude, I was about it. 10 out of 10.
So
this show can do no wrong. Like, literally, they could make it about fucking Teletubbies and, Care Bears, and I would be like, bro, Invincible's still fucking 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. What were your pros? What were your cons? What do you feel about the second season? How do you feel about the characters that got introduced? Like, give us a little bit, man. Give us a little bit.
So I'm not gonna lie, I knew Angstrom Levy's character. I know that he's like easily Invincible's first major villain. Like really, really big major villain. Like well before the Viltrumites, show up. And that's not really to spoil anything, that they're coming. But yeah, like he has such an important role to play, and I forget that's how it starts. But what I did love is that they teased really, really early on the Invincible War. And for those who don't know what that is, go and read the comic book, and you'll find out what the Invincible War is. And dude, it's fucking sick. It is so good. It is also really brutal, really, really brutal. This is like, that's kind of like what sets like Mark, Invincible on his path to like heroism, is like everything that goes on with Angstrom Levy. That's like really, really what puts him on of actually being a hero.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's a really hell of a point. Brian, how do you feel about it, man?
I got to agree with Triggs. I mean, I'm not familiar with the comics, but I mean, I am familiar with the show, and I honestly I think I would have liked it less if I knew what was coming or if I read the comics. I'm glad that I haven't read the comics because everything is like a surprise.
It's like clean slate, dude. It's like
honestly, but even like comic book readers, last season, dude, I still loved it. I mean, if you go back and you listen to the episodes that me and Chris did a few years ago, like we were hyping this up heavy, and then
I envy Brian's situation so much too, because like you get to just experience it like in such a cool like format compared to the way we got it. You know what I mean?
It's still really cool, dude. It's still relatively true to the source material.
Yeah,
like it really doesn't veer too much, and even when it does, it's not necessarily the content in which, or like the canon stuff that's happening, but more so the timeline in which it does happen. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I guess I was a knock is I think I'm all multiverse out. Like by now, I think I'm a little.
It's very hard to pull it off, right?
I think I'm a little bit fatigued from the multiverse, but I mean, they got to it. They didn't spend too much time talking about it. They just got straight to it, which I do appreciate. It was fucking awesome. I loved it. I like this new villain that came. He's very straightforward. I mean, he's not really too complex. He's got he's got all of these other alternate universe hymns in his head now. So of course he's got an issue with Invincible. So let's go get him. And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, Levy's character is pretty like, it's so crazy that he's like a pacifist, but he ends up like just like right out of the fucking gates, like just gets turned into like this like desperate person that just knows that what he's seen and what he's experienced is the way it's gonna go. And he just hates, like he generally hates like Invincible, like for what it is. It's so cool. An introduction of his character was so great. The Mahler brothers, they did really well too. Like just it all came together in fruition very, very well. And for it to be the first episode, I was super impressed. Like I said, it just came out swinging. It gave us this like vibe at the very beginning that the situation between Omni-Man and Invincible was kind of like this universe's like a 9/11 situation where it's bringing everybody together. They're covering it like it's like, you know, because a lot of people died with this whole thing, and seeing Mark's character Invincible come out and try to still be a part of it and dealing with the PTSD of his father's like, you know, fucking screw over of everybody, and him and his mother trying to like just take it in, you know what I mean? It's they did really well for a first episode. This made me super excited for the entire season. What a fucking way to start off. What a great way to start off. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I think Triggs said it best. I think Invincible right now can do no wrong. Like, you know, we got a couple episodes before. When the Viltrumites come in, it gets fucking wild. So that's going to be coming in a couple of episodes. I think probably.
Honestly, I kind of see that happening mid-season.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm in season.
Yeah, because you got to remember, dude, they have to go through the whole Angstrom Levy story.
Yeah,
and then Invincible War,
and then Invincible,
and then you know the Viltrumites.
Yeah, this season is going to break it down. I think they're going to do the same thing they did. I think they did last season as well. They're going to break it into two halves, and they're going to be like a mid-season, and then a layoff, and then they'll come back with the second half.
I mean, it wasn't that bad in the first season when they did that either. I think it was well worth it too. As long as they're not doing what Attack on Titan did, I'm fucking super hyped about it.
Yeah, dude, fuck Attack on Titan.
You know what? The only episode that I'm like super nervous about on how people are going to accept it is the episode with the female Viltrumite and Mark's character.
Yet again, I see that happening in season 3, and when that
that makes sense.
And I understand why.
It's a very hard subject. This super hard subject. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is like one of those vibes that's like what is it? Herogasm? The boys, like, you know how we were like,
yes,
fuck, you don't know
like, yes, it is. Like, you're like, okay, but that one's just like a
love is love.
Yeah, that was like that's just a very over the top episode, right? Like you know that one's gonna be a fucked up episode because it's just straight over the top. This one is going to be really touchy because of the subject matter.
Yeah. Brian, are you familiar with that part of Invincible? Like, have you ever heard about like some of like the crazy things that happen in the series?
No. So again, I'm not familiar with the comics, so I don't know anything about it. But I have a question though. Adam Eve, is she? I mean, because I watched the her special that they had on Amazon. She seemed very depowered in that alternate universe. Was that me, or was it because she got beat pretty easily?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this right now, bro. Like, she could have straight clapped like Omni-Man and Mark at the same time if she really tried.
Yeah, I think she was just like, they made it to her like she wasn't like fully aware of what her powers was, because this would have to have been like you remember during that part of the series, Adam Eve was barely like kind of like letting loose, like, oh, I'm gonna make a tree house, I'm gonna fix the world and do pretty things.
But I thought that was the whole point of her special on Prime Video, is because it was to explore. It was supposed to explore her power set, which I think they did a fucking amazing job.
Amazing, that was a fucking great series. That was a great episode.
Yeah, I think that that fight scene on the bridge was probably one of the best animated fights I've seen in a while. And for her to come out and just get tanked in this first episode, I was kind of let down a little bit by that.
But I think they did that on purpose because it's like the multiverse, and her character is supposed to be like the stronger version of it. maybe,
I
but
guess.
I do understand. Like, I feel like she was kind of like shoved aside, I guess you could say, in that opening season.
Like in that universe, if she was able to get tanked by Invincible, they're fucked. Like
Yeah,
I think
everyone's fucked.
I think
Yeah,
they're
everyone's
fucked. Yeah.
fucked. Oh yeah, and Jeremy put in the comment section, very, very good. He says, and Mark looked a lot better at fighting. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not clicking it?
Go for it.
Boo! I guess it was me. I'm sorry, Brian. I know Brian's got it too.
Nice.
Also, Mark looked a lot better fighting wise in that other world too. Yeah, that's a good point too. But it's it's just I guess each universe is different in their own ways. Maybe, like I said, maybe she didn't even get that.
We'll find out real soon how different they really are.
Yeah. No, but I mean, dude, because when all of it starts breaking down and they get into the arc that's called the Viltrumite War, like Eve is pretty up in front in the war. But even with that, she's not really like super hanging with a lot of these characters. The Viltrumites are just way overpowered. And it's like you have one, maybe two Superman, but then like 4 or 5 show up, and there's no way you're gonna keep up with that stuff. The Viltrumites in this universe are just like, they're beasts. They're the ultimate. They're the primordial goo of everything in the universe there, man. So super excited to check out what they're going to do with it. I'm really, really excited. Can't wait to see. First episode was a knockout. Fucking, like I said, 9, 10 out of 10. Easily. Guys, my opinion, go check it out if you haven't. Totally worth it. Not going to make any spoilers, but definitely worth it. Onwards to the next part. Boys, it's time. Brian, I'm gonna probably ask. Oh, you know what? No. Let's let Trigger take this one too, because we haven't had him on the show, and we've been able to talk about this episodes every week on the show. Loki season 2 got its what is it? The setup for the season finale episode. But we haven't heard Trigger's take on the entire season of what it's been. Triggs, have you been caught up on the Loki series?
Yeah, man. Yep.
Nice, dude. Nice. What's been your take on it? Because like it's been kind of like for me and Brian, I think the last episode was the only one that we had kind of like I had a disagreement because I felt like it was kind of winded, but Brian still enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the visuals and everything that it was coming to. But what's your take on the series so far up to the episode that we just got recently?
Honestly, man, I'm having a lot more fun with it in this season than I did last season.
Okay.
Like last season, last season, I was kind of just like, this is cool, but this time around, like, I don't know why. I think it's just like the fact that like I think for me, I'm seeing Loki as a big picture item, so that like everything that's happening in Loki has a grander effect on the MCU as a whole. And I want to see what that effect is going to be once it's finished. And I know that, like, even though Loki is still isolated just to Disney Plus right now, I wanted to see, like, I'm really, really curious to see, like what happens with all of this and how it affects, like, the MCU going into the movies. So I'm trying to look at the big picture and not just try and stay isolated just to Loki and stuff like that. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do feel like they keep kind of Tarantinoing a little bit and just kind of like rewinding like events that keep happening. Like, I get it. I've seen the exact same thing like 3 times already. I get it. Loki time slips. I get it. He goes to the TVA a lot. I get it. Yeah, like him and Sylvie are still at odds end. I get it.
Well, okay. Well, you did mention something that I wanted to ask just on the whim, for the purpose of just understanding, and I'm just trying to think of your thought process here. Are you talking about that you're looking at the grander picture for Loki and all that stuff because you're aware of like the situation, like in the comic books that is going on with his character, like the things that they're doing with him right now, like in the multiverse?
Okay, so I do know what they're doing with him. No.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. I do know what they are doing with Loki in the comic books. And like his like new title as like the God of Stories.
Well, Amazon Prime. What is it? Avengers Prime also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so like there's a lot of crazy shit in the comic books right now, Brian.
yeah, so
I don't
that's
know if
why
you're
I'm
caught
kind
up
of
on
just
that.
like, I get it.
I'm aware of the
Aware of
God
it, right?
I'm aware of the God
Yeah.
of stories. Do you think that's where they're going with this?
Honestly, yeah, I really think that they're gonna kind of
Yeah,
pick up
I
on
kind of
that.
feel like they're even adjusting the stories in the comic book so that way they kind of flow a little bit better with the universe and people can jump
to be
in.
completely honest, guys, are we really all that surprised at this point?
Yeah, I wouldn't even. Yeah, self.
Are we
Yeah,
really
the
that
Sylvie.
surprised? Like
Yeah.
they've been doing this for 15 years now, adjusting the
And
comics
guys,
to fit
I
the
know
MCU.
I know it sounds weird for the Loki and Sylvie ship, but Loki literally loves himself. Like that's his whole shtick. There's no one better than Loki in his opinion. So like, of course, if there's a female version of him, he's gonna be like, "Damn girl."
I'd smash. I'd smash.
Yeah, damn girl. That's fucking wild. But yeah, what Brian was asking is like, do we feel like where it's going? I really do. Because
I can see it happening.
yeah, like to where they're because even I think it was what Kevin Feige or someone mentioned that they're trying to consider a way that this Loki can somehow meet up with Thor in a future project. And the only way that's going to happen is again, Thor saw his brother die in all these multiple fashions and whatnot. So for him to see him come back, and I think I saw memes of like him coming out of the TVA portal and being like, "Hey, I can explain like the way he was doing with everybody else, but with Thor." Like, I could see that kind of happening, but or it being that there's like, the situation with like Secret Wars, right? There's supposed to be like a grand situation where like I think that's the most heartbreaking situation. Chadwick Boseman's passing is when Black Panther comes out with the Infinity Gauntlet and starts fighting God Doom. The passing of Chadwick Boseman, we don't really have Black Panther other than Shuri, and I think Shuri at that moment was in another position on the playing field, and I don't know if it's going to work the same way. But maybe having like a Loki come out with the Infinity Stones from the TVA, surviving the incursions because they have him there as paperweights, and he ends up being that factor that brings in the Infinity Gauntlet. There's so many things that they can do with Secret Wars, but yeah, for me, I think this episode was gorgeous. It was very beautiful. It was very artistic. There's that scene, my opinion, when Sylvia's in the record studio or in the record shop, and she's sitting there, and the incursion. I don't know. I'm guessing that's the incursion, right? Is that when it's getting spaghetti? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to explain.
I'm like, technically, yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of I'm a little confused of. There is some part of the stories that I'm kind of iffy about. But that scene was beautiful. Like just the overarching idea of how they filmed it for this to be Loki's like Infinity Gauntlet snap. And all the characters were kind of getting spaghettified and all that stuff in their own variation. And yeah, it was kind of like a copy paste because of the Thanos thing, and they didn't really get it in their universe. But man, it was so beautifully done. So beautifully done. Brian, from the last episode to this one, was this kind of where you were expecting the episode to go?
Nah, man. I like the episode, but it was mad fillery. It was a filler fucking episode, and I think this could have been this could have been done a lot earlier. Which is funny because we have the complete
exact
opposite
fucking idea from last time.
Yeah, this episode was completely fillery. I don't think it explained much from the previous because like you said, I had some time to think about the last episode that we had, and I can see how people are confused. Like I get it. I'm still like I it's not that I'm confused. I just know that things are left uncharted for a reason, and I don't think they did a good enough explanation in this episode to explain that for people that don't get it. It was Matt Fillery, and they didn't really answer shit. Yeah. So I still enjoyed the episode. I just thought it was a filler episode.
See, because that was pretty much where I was last week, wasn't I? I was saying like I kind of felt like the episode was cool looking, and it was cool visually, but like
our disagreement last week was you said that the the first 4 episodes really didn't mean anything. I think I
because of
didn't
that last episode.
yeah, I don't think I understood that. But for this episode, I don't necessarily uh think it should have been the second to last episode.
Okay, that makes sense. You feel like it should have been like placed like maybe a couple episodes before or something?
Yeah, personally.
Okay, that probably would have worked a lot better. I kind of feel like that factor of like the Ouroboros thing, like where everything like has like this repeating like circle. Like, I mean, I get it. Like it's almost like there's a bunch of them going on at the same time. And like in the episode in the very beginning when he keeps like running into himself, I was like, oh, that's a cool effect. But doesn't that mean like I was kind of like, well, okay, well, why did it even reset in time if he just got to the certain part that he was already at and that he saw before? It's almost like there's just a bunch of like paradoxes.
I think I had more questions after this episode than last episode.
Than the last episode, right?
Like why is it that Loki was able to remember everything, or was he was able to not get spaghettified or whatever, but
Because he pruned himself.
But Sylvie did before. I'm talking about like in this episode. Like why did Sylvie get like she's a Loki? Why was she spaghettified? Like I don't understand that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that again, that shit's not explained. It doesn't even like, and then
And that's
she's
what I'm
able to pull
saying.
herself back and
Like if you're gonna have a filler episode, like I kind of need some of these things explained to me. At least make it worth my while. It just raised more questions than anything.
and then
Again,
not only that, even
liked
like
it.
the whole like him controlling it at the very end. Like, was it just because of the fact that he saw her get spaghettified that he was like, okay, cool, like now I lock my power down?
No, well, you like Obi kind of tells him like you can control it, you know, like it's like within the realm of like your abilities to be able to like put these together or like to be able to like stop doing this. And he's like, well, I don't know how. And that's like that was a small instance of the episode, this last episode, and now I guess he does, and now knows how to jump between time, God of stories.
I think
and now I'm just like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
honestly, I think from what I've gotten so far is this. I mean, it's lame as fuck. But the whole arc is he's just scared to be alone. That's it. He's scared to be alone. He's scared that he is going to end up alone, and he doesn't want that. So everything that he's been doing since the end of the end of season 1 has been him trying to save his friendships and save the people that he has grown accustomed to because he doesn't want to be alone. And that's what I got from everything so far, and that's kind of lame, but I get it. If it's gonna get me to where it needs to, like Trigger said earlier, if it's gonna have a because we come in here, you and I, Chris, we come in here and we talk about how things don't have a bigger meaning or a bigger effect on the MCU as a whole.
The overarching story.
We're getting that. Yeah. So I don't want to shit on it for that. But it's, as far as from what I can tell, is something just as simple as he doesn't want to be alone. And everything that and that's how he's just realizing that whole bar scene with Sylvie was her explaining that
solidified. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's like. Yeah,
like it was her bringing it to his face that, look, bro, you're just scared to be alone, and it's okay, like it's all right.
Okay, so was there a little bit of confusion when at that one part where like Loki's like, we need one more person, right? And it's right before he goes and gets Sylvie. But why didn't he go get Ramona Renslayer if she was part of the original team with Kang? Like she played a huge factor in the overarching war.
It's because she wasn't. I'm telling you, it's because she wasn't a part of of his friends, of his team. He needed the people that he loved. He needed the people that he considered friends.
That he considers friends.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it.
And then the other only thing that I wanted to ask was what importance was Kang if it's just Loki that's creating the TVA and all this other stuff? Like, it's so crazy, like how
Kang or Victor Timely?
Well, either one of them, because that's who it's supposed to be overall. The overarching story is that Kang is the mastermind behind all of this.
Well,
remains. Over time, what we've noticed is that it wasn't Kang or Victor Timely or anybody. It was always someone else that he just brought in to do the work for him. So like, doesn't that kind of take away from like? So remember that Kang is supposed to be like our Thanos in this world, and I feel like every time we get Kang on screen, like they fucking make him look like a doofus. Like every time, even in the intro of him in Quantumania, they made him look like he got jumped by a bunch of ants, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like now here he is, Victor Timely, the beginning of what he was supposed to be. And then, you know, he runs out on this whole fucking quantum leap shit and gets totally demolished. And it's like, damn, dude, every time they bring this guy up, like, how the fuck is this guy supposed to be Thanos? Like, how is he supposed to be like, you know, does that make any sense? Like we're pretty late in the game that we know we're gonna get Secret Wars and it's gonna come to an end in like 3 or 4 years, like, and they're still doing this to this character. Like, shouldn't we get something where this guy's like up on everybody's shit?
Well, I mean, there's an infinite amount of them, so we don't know which one is going to be the big bad at the end of this. So they're just introducing multiple versions of them. I have to disagree with you. I don't think the King looked weak in Quantumania. I thought he looked incredibly strong, and I thought that was a great performance by Jonathan Majors. I think this one is specifically to look weak. And the performance that Jonathan Majors did at the end of Loki season 1 was great. So I would have to disagree with that, but I'm not gonna jump the gun. Again, we don't know where this is gonna go. We don't know which king is going to be the big bad at the end of this. So I don't know.
I like George's comment. He says Kang is basically a construction company foreman that subcontracts people to do high paying work for low pay and then takes all the credit.
That's smart.
That's micromanaging, man. Micromanaging. So okay, so you weren't too hyped about this episode then?
I liked it. I
visually
just
story and stuff like.
yeah, I liked it. It's just I don't think it was just a misplaced episode for me.
By chance, is you made a comment earlier that you were kind of multiversed out. Is this kind of like playing a factor into it right now?
It's not just this; it's everywhere. Everything is using the multiverse to get a story across. Marvel, DC, now Amazon. It's just all over the place. It's literally what South Park was talking about.
The Panderverse. I still haven't seen it, man. I'm still dumb. I still want to watch it like crazy. But overall, boys, what did you guys think of this episode? What did you think of the series? And what are you excited for the season finale? Triggs, you go first.
Dude, I think this is a solid, like a really, really solid 7, very, very soft 8.
Okay, and what are you excited for to see in the season finale? What would you like to transpire from the season finale of all this?
I would love to actually get true incursions.
Okay.
Like actual incursions. I want to see the incursions actually appear in the MCU. At least somewhat in the way that they were in the comics.
Okay. Brian, what about you?
I will give this episode probably like a 7 as well. And from what I got from the end of season 1, they went out with a bang. I'm expecting the same thing here. So I think they'll rebound and give us some wild shit. I think that they're just gonna be in a time loop over and over and over again, trying to save the TVA in the time loop until they finally get it right.
That's badass. I'm excited. I'm gonna probably be about the 7.5. I'm really, really excited for the episode at the end because I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that place at the end of time. That one world that's got the big cloud monster where all the Lokis got sent to. There is a trailer scene where Ramona's in that universe, and we know that from apparently, from leaks and rumors and theories that the TVA is going to play some kind of factor in the Deadpool movie. So I'm hoping that, my thing is I would like to see Mobius come out in a Deadpool movie. I think he would fit right in with the cast, easily fit right in with the cast. And with him with Ryan Reynolds and the way he's all smart alecky, I think it would be fucking infinitely just a great place for him to be. But I know there might be another guy. I think they were talking about Agent Paradox, or I forgot what it was, but yeah, I would like to see at least some type of cameo of some character at the very end. They don't really save the TVA, but it ends up being kind of like crushed by an incursion or an overarching bearing where that's where they end up on that island, and then they're all a part of like the Deadpool episode or whatnot. I know it's supposed to kind of like give us some stuff into the future of the MCU and stuff. So exciting stuff, man. Can't wait. Jesus Advantes, I am actually very intrigued and very like, wow, that it would be called The Void. You know, just thinking about it, you know, like them theorizing that they're going to bring the Sentry for Thunderbolts and all this other stuff. Like, if that's The Void, that would be really fucking cool. That would be really interesting. And like the, what is it? The threading, the spider webbing and stuff like that of all the multiverse and stuff. Yeah. But cool stuff, boys. Cool stuff. Excellent. Onwards onto the last part of our conversation, and probably something that we won't really take too much time on, but we're going to be talking about some points and stuff like that. This is probably one of the most talked about things that went on this past week. Triggs and Brian and I were talking about this offline. Variety had released a article talking about situations that had been going on with Marvel and concerns and things, and asking the question is if Marvel is falling apart. And we're going to go ahead and touch base on some of the PowerPoints on this real quick. Something that we were talking about, just very, very interesting stuff. Super interesting stuff. Boys, did you guys get to see the article or no?
Yes, I did.
Oh man, how do you guys feel about it? Like, do you feel like this is someone that went out there and just kind of like threw it out there because they're trying to like burn Marvel, or do you think they're trying to put it out there because they want to raise awareness so Marvel knows are concerned from the fans or something like that? Like, what do you guys feel about it?
I think Marvel put this out.
Oh shit, that they straight up did it?
Yeah.
Shit.
I can see that.
Okay, so you think it's like a PR move to try to save face?
Correct. I mean, Variety is too big of a publication, and they have ties to these big companies. I don't think they would have put out. I could be wrong. I don't think they would have put this out without doing the due diligence and getting the consent from Marvel or Disney.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. So a new report was revealed, chaos behind the scenes at Marvel Studios, which has affected many of the recent upcoming MCU movies and TV shows. This was an article written on Screen Rant. They gave us like 12 PowerPoints, which we're going to be talking about. But of course, like we've all kind of heard the repercussions of everything that's been going on with Marvel. And not only that, we've been hearing about the apparent low upcoming films, how they're talking about low numbers for like the Marvels and other things like that too. The Marvels is, I mean, Brian and I have talked about it, that it's interesting and it's something that we may want to consider, but man, it's getting torn up all over the place though. It's getting torn up. I believe it comes out already next week. Next week, right? Brian, are you going to go check it out still?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going to go check it out, I'm definitely going to go check it out. I'm with you, my man. You know, it's one of those things. And not only that, I've heard rumors of the ending that they're going to be popping off with, and kind of interested to see how they're going to pull it off. But let's talk about these 12 PowerPoints. They're super interesting. The first one, Marvel Studios is considering replacing Kang the Conqueror with Doctor Doom, but ultimately stuck with Kang due to the actor's established role. And now it's been talked that they're kind of considering it to rebrand and bring Doom back. Guys, how do we feel about this?
Don't rebrand.
Okay, so
you
think sticking with Kang would be the better option?
I think having like a like sub villain, I think would pay more dividends than rebranding.
And when we say rebranding, we're saying just scrap the whole Kang thing and go straight Doctor Doom, right?
Go straight with
like
Doctor Doom.
That's what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Like at least like that's my understanding.
And what do you mean in the sense of like subplotting and all this other stuff? Like, I mean, you probably
what I mean is like use Doom as like a sub villain, like someone that you've already established who's gonna have that bigger role. He's like just prepping himself, right? Because that's always what he's done. Always what he's done in Marvel. Like once Doctor Doom shows up, something will happen, and it will involve him somehow.
Okay.
And I would love to see that, because then you can still do Secret Wars relatively correctly.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because you have a major component in it.
Yeah.
Brian, what about yourself? How do you feel with this?
I'm confused. Like I don't see what the dilemma is, to be honest with you. If they are indecisive on whether or not they want to switch lanes because of Jonathan Majors, dude, just fucking recast him. I don't understand what the big deal is. Like if he's giving you a headache and he's fucking up your plans, recast him. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's something like Chadwick Boseman where it would be a soft spot for people. Like it's you can fucking recast him. It's not a
This is
big
literally
issue.
like the Ezra Miller situation, right?
Yeah, it's fucking recast him. But if you're
And
if
they didn't
you're
even do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're worried about anything outside of that then you should just scrap it. I mean, I personally think you've come too far to turn around and just go in the direction of Doom. To be honest with you, you haven't established him at all. There hasn't even been a hint of him at all.
Yep.
You got a lot riding on this King shit. Recast him if that's the case. Because I mean, what it seems like it doesn't look good for Jonathan Majors. It does not look good. Like it's called spade a spade. Doesn't look good. And as the Disney brand, you can't have that on your jacket. You can't just overlook that. You gotta let him go.
Got to just cut it, right?
Especially after what happened with Johnny Depp, you gotta let him go. So it's like you gotta let him go. It sucks. I can't speak for everybody, but I was a fan. It sucks that they have to pivot from that. But I mean, it is what it is. Recast him.
Yeah, I'm kind of like in the same boat. So like kind of going with what both of you are saying, I think they're both great ideas. Like I think that's something that they should, and they probably do. They're probably reconsidering. This is gonna be like 13 people at a table being like, "Yo, let's put all our fucking money."
Yo, they're spending too much fucking manpower worrying about this shit, bro.
Yeah,
they went on their whole like Marvel retreat, which they usually use to raise morale and have fun and do shit with everybody. They use that spending the entire time figuring out what they're gonna do about fucking Jonathan Majors, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
That's way too much. Way too much. I kind of feel like what Trigger was saying, where like having a slutpot character where you bring Dr. Doom in and kind of like bring him underneath, it correlates really well with the way the character is. If you're gonna do Kang as he's playing a double role as him and the Beyonder, because that was the whole point, is like Doom comes in and just steals this shit anyways. But again, you have a really, really strong point when you say where it's like it's way too fucking late in the game for them to be like, oh hey, here's fucking Dr. Doom. Look at this guy right here. Like he's just hanging out. He was here the whole time. Whoa. Like how do you fucking shoehorn him in? My thing is I think they're gonna do it the way we talked about several episodes ago, where they'll do the multiverse, they bring the Fox and all the different universes. And more than likely they're gonna bring one of the previous Dooms in as the Doom character, which I hope it's the first fucking Fantastic Four Doom, not the second one, the Fan Four Stick or whatever they fucking did with that weird movie. But I hope it's the first guy if they end up doing that way. If they end up doing it. I think Doom's a good character. I think you're right, absolutely correct. They're taking too much time on the Jonathan Majors situation. Yeah, they need to just make sure that it's not an Ezra Miller situation with DC, and they need to make it just a Marvel thing, the way they handled the Johnny Depp situation. Yo, we'll cut it, and if it gets clear, maybe we can work with you if it's not too late. If not, thank you very much. Here's your check. Laters. You've already worked enough. Thank you so much. Like, I think that's probably the easiest thing that they can do. Next PowerPoint was what we were just talking about actually right now. The season of finale of Loki 2 will reveal important information about Avengers 5 and the setup of Kang as the main villain.
Yeah, that's what they're fucked. That's what I'm saying. They're fucked. Like they've past the point.
Too many eggs in a basket.
They're past, as far as I'm concerned, they're past the point of no return. If this is where you guys were going to go, because this is where they're going to fuck themselves. It's because now they're going to start panicking and just doing shit.
Fucking left and right.
Yeah, and they're gonna fuck it up. So if the King angle is where you're gonna go, just continue to do it. Recast them. No harm, no foul. Listen, as fans, we'll get over it. Get over it.
Yeah, we would have never had it to begin with. We're in a good time in our life when it's gonna reboot anyways. Yep. Triggs, what about you?
Honestly, man, like, it's kind of one of those things where like I'm choosing to be patient with Marvel, not so much as in like what's this character gonna go do with this? What's gonna happen with this? It's more of just like, honestly, I'm kind of just taking things like day by day. Like I'm just taking it with each stride, because I've noticed that if I put too much stock into Marvel, I get disappointed very, very quickly and very, very large. And I'm choosing not to do that. That's why, like, I'm gonna go see the Marvels, but I have no expectations whatsoever for the Marvels.
Oh man, that's crazy. Next part. Shang-Chi and the Eternals MCU debuts were only experiments for the MCUs, and that's why they're not in the universe right now. How do you feel about this?
Honestly, it I don't feel at all like Shang-Chi was cool. Honestly, Shang-Chi was
I think it was
a
one
bright
of the best
spot.
shows.
It was a bright spot in
Phase 4. I
In
think it
Phase
was
4.
like the bright spot in Phase 4.
And honestly, dude, listen, I know I'm in the minority here, but Eternals wasn't that bad. So if that's what you call an experiment, and then so be it.
Well, we kind of know that that Eternals was an experiment. I know that they kind of like outwardly said that and stuff, but like Shang-Chi, I kind of felt was a little bit more rooted in the actual MCU itself than Eternals was. Eternals felt like a standalone movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, where I was telling you guys that I kind of felt disappointed that they introduced all these characters, but they don't have anywhere to go with them. That had to deal with like the Eternals. That had to deal with Shang-Chi in a way, but you can shoehorn him into the MCU, being Spider-Man also, and all this stuff. But like we talked about Moon Knight, and which one?
Better than Blade?
Hold that thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about Black Knight. We talked about Blade. We talked about Moon Knight. Pretty much all the Midnight Suns. But they had this reoccurring thought that there was like, the Midnight Suns, they're going to be here. The Young Avengers for Secret Wars. And it feels like those aren't even being considered to be forefront films. Not even being considered. Because it's even come to the factor of like, one of the points too, and this is them talking about bringing the original Avengers back. Now, I'm pretty disappointed in that. I'm not at all against it, because I'm a fan of the Avengers, and I think they did a fantastic job together.
Why are you disappointed in it?
Well, because I feel like you have opportunities and potential to grow this series. There is potential to allow all these other actors to come up, and you don't need the original 10 actors who have already kind of like, they've already placed themselves where they need to be in the MCU, and they laid the grounds so everybody can come up. And the thing is they have it set up, dude. Like the all different X-Men and all different whatever the fuck Avengers and Marvel, it's there. It's already prominent. Like all you got to do is spend time and make the stories make sense.
Let
Like,
me ask you a question. Just put your business hat on for a second there, Chris.
Yeah.
Ever since the end of Phase 3, what has worked?
Nothing, but they're still making money.
Who's making money?
I mean, they're not making money that they want to make, but they're making the money for the films. They're barely making it by.
So
they're barely making it.
So what is that?
But what makes it okay? Okay, with that being said, what makes us think that bringing the original Avengers back is going to make the writers any better? I know the actors are going to act the shit out of it. Mm-hmm. But what is that going to matter if they're still shit at writing? I mean, that's been my biggest factor, is that these people are fucking up the stories because they're bringing in people that are fucking the stories up because they think they're bigger than the IP. And now look at it.
I don't think, again, from a business standpoint, I think that matters none. I think the fact that you bring back people that the fans are familiar with, the casual fans are I think one of the issues is that nobody knows who the fuck Shang-Chi, like the casual fans that were there for Endgame and there for Infinity Wars. They don't know who the fuck Shang-Chi is. They don't know who the Eternals are. They don't know,
some Marvel
of these, they don't know any of these characters. So if you bring back some of these characters that people grew in love with, and I'm talking about like the most casual of casual fans, at least you'll be able to reflect that in the box office.
Yeah.
Whether the story is good or not. I don't think the issue is whether or not the stories are good or not. Who gives a fuck?
You don't think that plays a factor anymore?
It's a comic book movie, bro. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, so was Infinity Wars.
No one's winning Oscars. No comic book movies are winning Oscars. So when it comes to writing,
Didn't Black Panther win awards?
for like costume.
Still something.
That has nothing to do with writing, though.
I mean, not for like supporting roles or anything like that. I thought Angela Bassett won.
No, she lost.
She lost. Fuck. She should have fucking won.
Should have fucking won. But
She should have fucking won.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you're not in contention for the Oscars, you're not in contention for any fucking awards. Who gives a fuck?
Okay.
Make some money.
Make some money. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I've always told people, like, right now in the situation that we're in, we've reached a part in the comic books line where we're getting to the characters that the comic books didn't sell. You know, we're getting to the Jane Fosters. We're getting to the Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. We're getting to the Kamala Khan comic books when the comic book industry was on the decline again because nobody was catching on to these characters. And now the movies are coming out and they're trying to be like, yo, forefront, here's some money, you know, here are these characters. You got to love them now because if you don't, you're an asshole or whatever. But the thing is there's no arcs. There's no depth in the characters that we really want to care for these people. And I think that's been the biggest problem. So that's my concern for the whole situation that's going on with Marvel. As a matter of fact, in the comment section, we have someone that made a really good comment. George says, Blade is going to get deleted, bro. So what he's talking about is that there was a lot of problems in the Variety thing. It makes a comment talking about how Mashallah Ali almost left the entire production because of communication between them and the higher ups on what he wanted with his character. Apparently he was going to be pushed like back behind 3 other characters and be like the 4th character in his own film. Like, how do you guys feel about that for a first debuting of Blade?
I know that it was a writer that did that, and that writer is no longer with the production, so fucking get over it.
Yeah, from everything that I've been hearing, this was this Blade movie was like a Kevin Feige move. Like when they presented Ali on the on that stage like at Comic-Con, that was like
29, bro.
That was like an impromptu thing. Like that was just put together. Like they didn't have anything in production, they didn't have anything, they just wanted to make a spectacle. Saying that they were going to bring this movie on. So this kind of falls in line with how that went together. And he's just frustrated. That's what all the reports are. He's frustrated. He's not really getting any updates about what's going on. He's borderline done with it. He's ready to go home. I don't know.
I don't think it's real borderline anymore, dog.
I don't know if the whole movie's going to get scrapped, but I would be surprised if he's in this movie when they finally get it done.
Yeah, in the article it says one project, or I'll just go through it real quick. Blade was officially announced by Kevin Feige, San Diego Comic-Con 2019, like you said. But since then, the project has gone through 2 directors, 5 writers, and a whole production shutdown shortly before filming, and worries that Ali would walk. Variety reports that at one point, Blade was set to be in a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons, with Blade himself not taking the starring spot. Evidently, this needed changing, and Mashallah Ali must be the star of his official MCU debut. That's wild, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it sounds crazy. I mean, do we know of it to be true? No, because of course this is like things that have been going on behind the scenes, and this has all just been released and all this stuff to the public. But yeah, super crazy. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, this thing doesn't really talk about too much. It's not really anything that we don't know about or that we haven't thought about eventually. Marvel Studios plan to move away from Marvel, to move away from majors after Ant-Man 3. That was, of course, the situation with his arrest and all this other stuff. So that's nothing too bad. And the only other thing, which is still kind of like enticing and what we keep hearing more about, is Marvel Studios has started speaking to X-Men writers about bringing the X-Men into Marvel Phase 7 or Marvel Phase 5 and 6 or whatever the fuck. How do you guys feel about them bringing in the Marvels or the X-Men?
About fucking time.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is for me too, man. It's just fucking forever for them to explain. So apparently, okay, do you remember in She-Hulk, there was an apparent like a newspaper article that said guy with claws gets in bar fight and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
So apparently that's supposed to be actually Wolverine in our universe based off of him being in the Deadpool movie. That Deadpool movie is going to kind of be putting characters that were behind the scenes in a bunch of like X-Men and or Avengers films that they'd have already been here. And then of course, like we've already heard that in the Secret Wars story and in the Doctor Strange and in the Deadpool, it's going to be all based on the universe that Doctor Strange was in, and that's going to be the Fox cartoon and movie universe, and that's going to bring in the X-Men into our universe, or X into Secret World, right, in Battle World. And that the Marvels, I don't know if this is true or not, but if it's spoilers, just letting you know that at the end we're supposed to get like maybe like Beast or like something based on the Illuminati group that was there with Monica Rambeau, the mother making a return again with the young Monica in a hospital bed after she gets trapped in the other universe. Like, and that we're going to actually get the X-Men next week in the MCU. Like, how do you guys feel about that being a factor?
I mean, I gotta see it to happen first. If that's what happens,
like all of these like what ifs and what could be's or do you thinks, I honestly don't give a shit, mostly because like there's nothing when it comes to the X-Men even remotely laid down in the MCU. They could fucking do anything with them at this point. Okay. So like it's so open-ended that it's really one of those, we really just have to wait and see what happens.
Okay. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Although I do think they have been getting towards it. They've been dropping a little hints here and there that, you know, mutants are among
us
them,
or something.
Yeah, among us, and you know, that's always cool.
The Kamala Khan thing too.
The Kamala,
yeah.
That's specifically
so
the Kamala
far that
Khan
has
thing.
been the biggest.
And then we've had
like, reveal.
We've had Charles Xavier in the fucking movie, so it's like,
yeah.
They're here. It's not like they're just gonna spring it on us. It's they're
I almost feel like they will.
They're I mean, I'm sure it's gonna feel that way, but again, like we've had Charles Xavier in a movie.
Already.
Like, yeah, so it's like they're here. It's just they haven't expounded.
They haven't officially been like where there are like a race among us kind of thing. I think that's gonna come later on, but you know, it makes a lot of sense with like the downward talks of like the Marvels and all this stuff, that they would say, hey, well, you know what? Like, fuck it. Let's just bring the mutants. Let's get people to go to this movie. Like, let's just bring it on because we're going to have them there in Secret Wars anyways. You know what I mean? Let's get people to come out. Like, I mean, it's like you said, like if this article in Variety was to come out and raise concerns about what's been going on behind the scenes and what's been making people mad and all this other stuff, like maybe this is like them being like, all right, fine, fuck it, we'll get the X-Men and we'll just put them in there. Like the Marvels is gonna suck, so fuck it, we'll just put, you know, Wolverine or something in there. You know what I mean? Like there's even talk like Thor and shit.
This Variety article I found extremely interesting, because nothing in here was a shocker. We've heard all of these stories. We've heard all the rumblings, even the rumblings about the Marvels and Nia DaCosta walking out and starting directing a whole new movie before this movie is even done. And her feeling, is that, you know, she basically didn't even direct this movie. Like they just took it from her. Between like the whole drama behind the scenes with Brie Larson and the chick that plays Monica Rambeau, like these things we've heard. It's just now it's being publicized. Like it's being brought in, you know, in an article form to the mass public. So that's the reason why I do think that a lot of what we heard was true. And this is kind of like Marvel saying, hey, we know you guys know this is what's going on. We're coming out with everything that's been going on, and this is what it is. And I kind of dig it, not gonna lie to you.
So you're kind of like, are you happy that they did this and they brought it all out and stuff like that to kind of, you know, bring it to attention so that way they fix themselves? Or
if not for nothing, I mean, this does point the fingers at a lot of people like that.
Like accountability wise, right?
The Nia DaCosta shit was kind of wild that they put that in here. But I mean, you got to hit rock bottom, just, you know,
just be able to start over.
Right? So it's like, all right, this is what it is. We're not in the best places right now, but you know, we're looking forward to rebounding, and I think that's what they're gonna do.
even with what you're saying, like for them to be able to put this out, like it's like as a company, where do you go? Like where would you go after a company of that size, Variety magazine, writing an article this big and it making its way across the internet?
And how do they know this? How do they know all of this to be true? Like you have to fact check this. Like how are they getting their facts from?
So the other thing is, I just want to say that recently there was a MCU book that got released recently. It's called MCU: The Reign of the Marvel Studios. Recently got released. I want to say like a couple of days ago, maybe like a week ago or whatnot. And apparently it's got a lot of behind the scenes stuff that kind of correlates very much with the Variety thing. Yeah. And it's, there's a lot of things that are like coming out, like, that nothing of that nature. There's no fucking way that you make 10 years of material with that many people and there not be situations. Yeah. Like where you're running a business that's the size of like a small town. And that there's not problems somewhere. The VFX artists, some of the artists and actors saying that they're not being taken care of or paid enough. That
again, we've actually came in here and talked about all of this stuff. All of this stuff we've already heard. You know what I'm saying? These have already been articles.
Yeah, they're all things that we've all talked about in some way or in something. Yeah. So it's not like it's something new, but I think it's just reassuring that we get to physically see it being talked about on a huge platform. Variety covering it, calling it out, that it puts the ball into Marvel's court. Were they going to go that way? All the reshoots with the Marvels, people saying it wasn't going to do good. What do they do from here? Like, what do you do now, Marvel? Like, do you continue to still fuck around and wait for people to like just give up on you? Or do you take consideration and say, hey, you know what? We fucked up. Accountability. We're sorry. Let's give the people what they want and just step the fuck out of it.
You give him fucking Robert Downey Jr. That's what you fucking
do. Yeah, you pretty much just. But as a fan though, like with the way the story ended with Robert Downey Jr., like how would you feel like if they brought him back? Like would you feel like it was like like that's for me with the way the story and him dying out, like that was perfect. That was so good for his character, and then you just bring him back because it's like an alternate universe or whatever, and he's like, he's not coming.
Multiverse, baby.
Yeah, dude, you said it before where you're like, who the fuck cares, man? It's a multiverse. Go bring him back. That's the only thing that I was really sad about this last Loki episode, because Loki goes to like 3 seconds before them and shows him that they were talking to each other, and he's like, oh, no one's ever gone. We could just put you back where you are. And I was like, fucking bitch, this is how they're gonna bring back Robert Downey Jr. They're just going to go back to where he steals the stones and fucking just like someone's going to kill Thanos the way like Black Bolt did. And you're going to be like, Robert Downey, you're okay, bro. We saved your life. You're good now. Oh, fucking, dude. I'm so mad. So mad. But boys, I want to say it was a good conversation and a great episode. What's going on? And did you guys really how do you like doing Sundays?
I like it. Honestly, man, I'm all for it because I get to be here. So
yeah,
like that's I'm really, not going to complain.
Cool. I'm not going to lie. I would like to know anybody else that's out in the comment section, whoever's with us. I want to say I appreciate every one of you to our extra listeners. Look at my hands all in focus. Whoa, I'm just going to be the fucking look at me. I want to know, how do you guys like Sundays with us here on the Average Boys Podcast? We took a chance. Wanted to change the day 2 days over, give you guys your Friday night to go out, party, have fun, and be with cool. Comic Menu, I know you're a little bit late, but it's so good to have you in the comment section. We appreciate you, bro. And thank you guys for jumping in with us. What we talked about today, we covered Gen V, Invincible, Loki season 2, Attack on Titan, and we talked about the Variety conversation, the Variety magazine conversation about what they brought up. So just in case you want to backtrack, check out the episode, you want to check it out with us, we appreciate you for just stopping in and being a part of this. How do you guys like our Sundays? Is it something that you'd be willing to do? And would you be down if we tried it again next week? Or would you prefer Friday nights? We would really like to do Sundays. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think. Guys, what do you got going on for, I can't even say the weekend. Are you guys excited for the work week? Are you guys a little bit more excited? Or you feel better? How do you guys feel doing Sundays?
My work week starts Thursday. So.
Oh, sorry, sir. Ryan, are you excited for work this week?
Never excited for work.
Fuck no.
We gotta do
what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Boys, I want to say thank you for allowing this Sunday to happen. I really appreciated it, and it was really, really cool for us to meet up on this day. To all our extraordinary listeners, I appreciate every one of you that tuned in with us today, Sunday night, here at the Average Boys Podcast. Guys, don't forget, if you guys like our show here, and you want to hear more of our archives and all our other shows from back in the day, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Podcasts, anywhere where you listen to a show. In fact, we're on YouTube, the Average Boys Podcast. Go check us out. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell all your loved ones. It'd be really, really cool if you jumped in with us and help spread the word. If there's anything you guys would like us to cover, do not be afraid to hit us up on our social medias during the week and ask us to talk about it. Every Sunday night, we're going to try to give it a chance and see how far we can do with this. So we'll see you guys again here on the show live, Sundays, 8 p.m. next week here on the Average Boys Podcast. We appreciate every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. To all our extraordinary listeners, have a good day. Have a good week. Enjoy your week. And we'll see you guys again here next Sunday. We need to do a collab comic menu. That's full show. We'll talk about it for sure. Guys, thank you very much. Triggs, thank you for coming back. It's good to have you back, my man. And Brian, it was a pleasure.
Yep.
All right, boys. Laters.